Hello and a very warm welcome to the first edition of Channels Beam in 2018. I'm Victor Matthias. Today on the program, we will be looking at the year 2017 in retrospect, politics, the economy, as well as the fight against corruption, amongst others. But first, let's take a moment to look through what made the social media buzz in the past week.
President Buhari was on the receiving end of Nigerians after a list containing appointments to boards of agencies and parastatals were released by the Secretary to the government of the Federation. Tweets displayed anger over the appointment of over 5 dead persons on the list. Former African, European and World Footballer of the Year and Senator from the Congress for Democratic Change Party, George Weah, won the Liberian presidential elections with more than 61% of the votes. He defeated Vice President Joseph Boakai of the ruling Unity Party.
Well, those were the trends in the past week. Now joining us to look at 2017 in retrospect, we have a journalist. He is actually the online editor with the New Telegraph, Michael Abimboye. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me, Victor.
Of course. We also have joining us on the Google Plus Hangout, we have Pt.1 who joins us from the UK. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We also have Henry Okele who joins us from Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory.
Thank you very much for having me, Victor.
Of course. And then we have Ben Cosmos, who joins us from Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Thanks as well for joining us. Well, let's get this conversation started. Michael, let's start with you. What would you say stood out for you in the past year?
I think it has to be an article going back to the PDP.
Politics, all right.
Yeah.
So what was it about? What did you make of it?
I think he led the PDP initially to the APC, and they were able to get to power. So I thought he would just stay in APC, even though he wanted to be president, but he would stay in APC to build the party, then of course build the country to the way we want it. But I'm surprised. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but because he wasn't involved in the scheme of things in this government, so I guess he felt frustrated and like, okay, he could try out his luck with PDP. But going back, I don't think he's going to get the ticket, because if going back by what happened at the convention, PDP convention, where the governors took over power and were able to produce the chairman, so I don't think with that, I don't think he's able to get the tickets for the president come to 2019.
All right, let's we have to wait and see how that will play out.
Sure.
But Henry, let me come to you now. Let me give you the home advantage, as they say in football, since you are the one in Nigeria. What was it that stood out for you? I mean, in the past year.
Yeah, 2017 was the year Nigeria managed to crawl out of recession, because as far as everybody back home here is concerned, the economy and how it affects the street is what is most important. And the recession was a symbol of what had gone wrong with the economy in the last 1 year. So crawling out of that recession against all odds, against the prediction of naysayers in 2017 was, for me, something that stood out, the economy as a whole.
Well, yes, indeed, we did crawl out of recession in the year 2017. Bede, let me get to hear from you as well.
Yeah, I think we're all repeating what others have said. I think there are like 3 things that stood out for me in 2017 as far as Nigeria is concerned. One is the absence of the president due to ill health and eventual recovery and resumption of the president. The second one is the whole Biafra brouhaha with Nnamdi Kanu, his arrest, his release, the Operation Python dance, and the rest of them. And then the third one is the qualification for the FIFA 2018 World Cup by the Super Eagles. The first two are very important because they threatened the unity of the country. The president's absence was so pivotal, and because of how it was handled, it whipped up a lot of sentiments and it threatened to derail our democracy. If you come to the Nnamdi Kanu case, his own agitation for Biafra, the IPOB, his arrest, his release, his rallies, and the rest of them was also a very, very big challenge to the unity and progress of the country, both from the point of view of the regional government of the Southeast, the Senate, and also the federal government that had to deal with it. And I think we have managed thus far to come out from it without much trouble. Then on the positive note, qualification for the World Cup, I'm a football lover. It was one of the high points of 2017, and I hope we will have more before we end in 4 days' time.